on.
He can't,
I'm gonna go ahead.
can't come around though. We bought a place in that senior
Yeah.
55 and over.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order for this July 13, 2016. If we can please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would anybody like to do the invocation? Roll call. Brenda?
I'm here.
Jerry Harris? Here. Hank Mast? Robert Rodriguez here. Bill Starnes?
Here.
Steve Rose?
Here.
Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and... Okay.
We have one here.
Well, Hank wasn't here for the meeting, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna entertain a motion. If anybody has any changes to be made, please let us know now. For the budget and the regular meeting that was on June 8th. The minutes for the budget and our board meeting for June 8th. So I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to pass.
In a second? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
passes, thank you.
Jerry, will you give me an agenda? Is that what's down there?
Jerry,
Thank you, sir.
Bill didn't get that. He said, all's in favor? He didn't.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Bill with the financial report, please.
Yeah, road check totaling $7,711.76. Ending checking balance is $4,953. Money market is $227,923.57. I'm going to tomorrow probably go down and transfer $11,000 for our money market back into our checking account. So we have approximately, probably 10,000. So we have our $15,000 standing balance in our checking account. And I need approval for the total of $7,711.76 for checks we wrote.
I have a question on one of the checks.
Okay.
What is Anna's? I guess it's supposed to be consultants. It's misspelled.
Here, I'll find the bill and you can take a look at it. I looked at the same thing, I thought, Anna?
Yeah, his name's Bob Annis. He's a guy that does a service on our breathing air system. And he does it every year at the end of June. It's our annual,
So that was in the budget?
yeah.
Okay, so it didn't, because it's more than $500, that didn't require special approval, or we're doing that tonight to approve it?
It's in the budget, I have the budget every year. However, if you guys want to approve that, I have no problem
Well,
doing that.
If we're approving all of these disbursements now, then we're giving it approval.
Right,
But I just wanted to be clear what that was.
yeah.
So that, can you repeat again for me, please? What that was?
He's the, he does a service and a certification on our breathing apparatus, the compressor system. It's an annual maintenance that's
Okay.
required by OSHA, or NIOSH actually.
So you weren't getting massages at Anna's then?
No, his name's Bob Anderson. He's an older guy, he's retired from Portland Fire Department.
Hey,
Are you good with that, Jerry?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, thank you. I will entertain a motion to pay the bills for the month of June to July.
Move to pay the specified bills in the treasurer's report.
Okay, all in favor, or second, any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
One other quick question while I've got you. I'm gonna go over to Staples and take one of our envelopes if I can find one, and have some new envelopes made up because we're out. And I figure it's gonna probably cost us a couple $100 for it.
Do you know where we got it from the last
I
time?
do not know, I haven't been able to find that out.
Boy, I mean, office supplies, I'm sure we budgeted for office supplies, and we're still, this is the first month, so I'm
It's
sure.
below $500.
Yeah, if it needs to be done, Joe, I mean, obviously within reason, $200, and,
Yeah.
because I can't imagine for $200 you should get enough to last us a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably around 500, I think is what comes in a box.
500 envelope?
Yeah, sure.
But they might have a minimum.
We might have a minimum, I don't know,
Well, if you have any questions, just give us a holler.
I'm just shooting
Right,
figures.
good.
just,
But Steve would pay for that with a credit card, right?
I could, or else they can bill it out.
Or bill it.
Yeah, or bill it.
We have a Staples, commercial account too, we can do it that way.
So I just, somebody told me that there's a stamp we could use down here, we could stamp the envelopes, but for being a kind of a business, I think it would look better if they were
Great.
stamped.
Or they charge the stampers, what do they charge?
No, we have a rubber stamp and we have to sit there and stamp it.
How many you gotta send out?
Well, I don't know, it varies.
You're on get there, we're talking 1,500 a month there.
Yeah,
Well, how many do you have to stamp?
well,
15 to 20.
15 to 20, but I just think,
The appearance and the professionalism is what you're saying.
yeah,
We'll get us a price.
yeah, well,
I mean, we can't go wrong by getting a price, and then we can just go from there, that way it's covered. All right, anything else, Bill?
that's it.
Okay. Turn over to Jerry with the communication report.
Turn already. All right. Website usage from June 1 to July 1, number of unique visitors increased from 231 to 277. Number of total visitors increased from 312 to 376. Number of pages accessed increased from 634 to 791. And we still have 12 subscribers to our YouTube channel. Updates to the website, I posted the approved documents, blotter calls, treasurer's reports, chief's reports, videos, and the current fire danger level now that we're in fire season. I updated the fire danger level to include a statement about the limitations on the use of power equipment outdoors. This is because DFPA has changed its policy, and I'm guessing Steve may discuss, are you discussing that in your
Yeah, I was
report?
gonna talk about
Yeah,
it.
so, yeah, we can wait until then. Proposed changes to add information and links on emergency transportation services, and this is something I think we could discuss perhaps under Steve's report, if you want to do it there, Steve, or we can do it at the end of my report. Request for suggestions. I always welcome suggestions from board members and the community. Communications with agencies. I received updates from the DFPA on the fire danger level and public fire restrictions. Communications with the fire department. I got the list of the made water calls and report from the chief. And I discussed with the chief adding to the safety page information about transportation services such as FireMed, Medcom, and Life Flight Network. And this is something that needs some discussion. I also responded to emails from the chief and from a volunteer regarding information from DFPA. Basically, they were telling me what I had gotten already from DFPA and just let them know that I had received it. Communications with the community. I posted public notice for the July board meeting on the website, in the newspaper, at the fire station, and at the Lookingglass store. District operations manual, nothing at this time. Communications equipment. I updated software on the district computer that needed updating, and I replaced an expired free antivirus software program with another free antivirus software program. Committee work. I worked with President Robert Nobriga on draft amendments to district bylaws and various district policies, which we'll be getting into a little later. And I showed President Robert Nobriga how to access his district email account from his personal laptop.
And I sent it, right?
Yes.
I
He's using it.
But I sent one agenda that was wrong, I put June or something.
Yeah, you sent us the June
It was a
instead
test.
of the July.
It was a test.
Right. So at least you know we were reading our emails
Yes.
from you. And you receiving it. Okay, does anybody have any questions on my report?
Can I ask you a question, because I'm not
Sure.
going to tell you I'm really YouTube savvy, but what is the benefit of being a subscriber? Do you get emails?
You get a notification if there's been another video added to the
Oh, okay.
YouTube channel. So each month when we add the board videos, if you're subscribed to that channel, you'll get a notice that there's another video there.
Yeah, I was just.
Thank you for asking. Okay.
All right.
Should we get into a discussion now or save it for new business regarding possible update to the website, of those transportation services?
Let's just do it now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Steve, would you like to take the lead on that?
So what you were talking about is having their links to the either Medcom, Fire Med, and Air Ambulance, Lifeline, describing what they are, how much, and what they actually do, and all that kind of stuff. And I have no problem with that. We're talking about doing that later on at a Grange meeting too. We discussed last night. However, it's just that they're we've already went through this. It's not really an insurance program, but then it is kind of, it is. You're paying $65 a year, and then for an emergency transport, that would be covered. So,
But that's by what, ambulance?
by ambulance.
And
right.
that would be
To
within-
Mercy, it doesn't
Like
cover
to
if you
Mercy.
went to Eugene or somewhere.
Well, it does cover certain other areas around the state.
Right, because some of them have a mutual contract. So if you're up in Portland and you get hurt or something, you had to be transported, chances are you might be in the right ambulance district that you would be covered also if you had to.
I think that's what I could check, but I do that. And they told me that, it really doesn't matter where you're at. They have some type of an insurance program. If your insurance, if the bill's $2 and your insurance pays $200, or it pays $1, they pay the other $1, is what they told me. So basically, because the reason I got it is because obviously my wife has issues, and it was $1,200 from my house to the hospital. And I was like, holy smokes, and someone says, why don't you try this? So I went down there and it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy I'm having it, but I'm happy she hasn't had to call again. But, I mean, I think if we could get literature, we could probably put that on our website, and it would help them, and it would help us also.
Well, I
as a
know,
district.
I have it, the wife and I have it, but it'll take us from home to like Mercy or someplace. But moving it from like Mercy or from Evergreen to Mercy is out of your pocket.
Is it?
Yeah,
I have a question.
$1,050 from Evergreen to Mercy.
Well,
I've had it for years, the ambulance service. But the Lifeline, I'm thinking about signing up for, since it's staying with Karen. I remember that bill, that helicopter bill was like $12,000. For $65, it's a no-brainer.
yeah.
Well, I'm not sure of what the cost is of the Lifeline. That was
That's 65.
the Fire Medcom is 65 just for the ambulance.
Yeah,
Right.
but the Lifeline is 65 also.
The Lifeline is also
I just got a
65?
brochure.
Oh, okay.
But you gotta watch it, okay? I had an issue with my wife when she had, she died next to me. And I called the ambulance, and Myrtle Creek was out. So they had to get somebody from Roseburg. When I got the bill, and she was, her tongue was swollen up, she was dead. So the guys came in, they just said, there's nothing we can do, and that was that. So when they get the bill, it's for like $700. And I went down there and I said, well, for what? They said, we're procedures, that were, blah, blah, blah. I said, what do they do? It says here, blah, 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 and they, I had to work on her, and they tried this, and they tried that. I said, she was dead when they walked in. And they insisted, blah, 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 blah. It took me about 3 weeks of bullshit, because it wasn't Myrtle Creek, it was Roseburg. And, it really irritated me.
Yeah.
So, but you gotta watch them, because somebody screwed up someplace. I finally got it straightened out, and I said, you get the guys on that report that was there, and you get them out here, and you tell me what they did. Okay? And they called one of the guys, he said she was passed. We didn't do anything. But I don't know who screwed something up, or somebody in the office or something screwed something up. So anyway, but I did program.
But that brings up a good point, that if we post information and links to any of these services, we have to have a disclaimer that we are not endorsing that.
Correct.
We're providing it for informational purposes only.
I agree. Right now, with Bay Cities coming in, it's kind of a confusing deal. Douglas 2, in our area here, Douglas 2, Winston, and Bay Cities, all three, we have areas where they respond to in our district. And the service, a lot of the Bay Cities people are former Douglas 2 people, and the service is pretty seamless, but we have private ambulances with 2 public ambulances providing service to us right now in this area. And so billing wise, you're gonna get billed from different people. But that, as far as information on our website, I think that would be appropriate.
Then does it seem reasonable that perhaps Steve and I can work on what to put on the website, how to word it, and
Or
get an
possibly
appropriate disclaimer?
They might have a flyer or something like that, that you can
Well,
incorporate.
we can get information off of their
Yeah.
websites that, we can just, we're allowed to copy, like a paragraph description to quote
Yeah.
what they have on their website, and then a link to their website, and just indicate it's for informational purposes. Does that sound reasonable then, Kevin?
Mhm. You good, Jerry?
That's it for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Public comments, any?
I think I've said enough for a while.
Then turn it over to Steve with the chief's report.
I don't know if you guys, I sent one, if you can copy it.
Hang on, you're looking at me bigger so I can read it.
Oh, he's gonna print it, oh, that's nice. Let's see, for the incidents for June, we had 15 total, which is going back up more towards normal. For halfway through the year, we're at only 68, which is much lower than last year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens later on in the year. We had 8 medical, 1 structure fire, 3 natural cover fires, that was just before the rain. 1 in motor vehicle accident, a lip assist, and 1 hazardous condition. But June started really fast. So around the county, we're not supposedly having a huge hazard from the drought with the trees and everything. But what we got this year is a large amount of grass, 6 to 7 feet tall, all around town. It dried out pretty fast. So that's resulted in some fires here around. The first one out in Umpqua, the Douglas 2 had, they almost lost a house, burned up a couple of vehicles and a couple of sheds. Same day we had one on Colonial, where we didn't lose the house, but some of the siding on it was melted, the vinyl siding. And then of course Sutherland had the grass fire up there that spread from the school and burned down 3 houses. So fire season is going to be, the fires are being real quick moving so far. Use restrictions are now in effect. Fire season started June 8th, and then they added the use restrictions right around July 1st, I believe. And we're back up to moderate right now. So what that does is in low, moderate, and high fire danger, the use of mowers and all that stuff is limited from before 10 in the morning, after 8 at night. Chainsaws, smoking outside, driving through grass, tall grass, vehicles, motorcycles, all that kind of stuff.
Even with the rain?
Yeah, they left it, in fact, they brought it back up to moderate again
Yeah, today.
yesterday.
So you have to stop using chainsaw before 10 in the morning
Right,
and can't have to use it after 8?
right. So they decided this year, regardless of low, moderate, or high, that as long as we're in fire season and the use restrictions are imposed, that's what's gonna, it doesn't matter if it's before 10.
What was the weed whipping, excuse me, what was the weed whipping? Was there a time for weed whipping or?
Well, we include that in the lawn mowing, but so it'd be before 10
Okay.
and after 8 at night. And that's for a dry grass. It's not unirrigated for a lawn or something. Or actually agricultural can do whatever they want to. I want to thank Hank, Director Mass there. We had a fire up on Corner Valley where a tree knocked the wire down, started a fire up there, and before we got up there, actually a passerby went to Hank's house and said, hey, there's a fire down the road, and it was Hank's property. By the time we got up there, he had it out with his tractor, he cut a line and buried it. So,
Good job.
thank you.
I don't know, sleep before it went up.
Our natural cover fires and structure fires, everybody's really antsy right now. We went on one down in Roseburg last week on, way up on Broad Street up there, way up on,
Right off the freeway, I saw it,
yeah. And they're going, that one was a structure fire that got off into the wildland, and, they hit everybody in the area. Us and Middle Creek, I think we're the only two volunteer departments that actually got people out during the day, but,
That was a good one, that was up there on the hill.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I know the guys at Raw Gould Town. He was grinding in his shop or something?
Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of mutual aid going on and everything right now. People they're pulling the plug on these calls. Training, we had firefighter, one class of explorers. Mostly we're finished with that. There's a few makeups. I gave you a few examples of some of the stuff we did. I attended a fire blast trailer meet training class. It was an 8-hour class put on by UCC. I'll pass these down through and you can see what it is. We're gonna get it, you have to be a certified instructor. What is a fire simulator trailer with live fire inside it? And we're gonna get it in September for a month here. So when we have it,
Is that the one that was sitting over here off of, on Garden Valley for a while?
yeah. UCC actually has it. It's a pretty interesting thing, so it's gonna be a real good deal for our, especially our firefighters. Because you can put fire, heat, smoke in there and make them operate under those conditions. That's pretty amazing. CPR we finished CPR for everybody that was previously certified. We're gonna start going a rope rescue and some water rescue awareness, mostly to keep ourselves out of the water and not injured, and then also what to do to support the Douglas 2's water team. And that's what we're gonna start this month. Two of our explorers turned 18 and signed up with us. I've lost two other firefighters though due to jobs and moving out of the district. And we have one more prospect at this time. It seems like every time we get a good number, then we lose a couple more. Let's see. We added another explorer. We've been using them in support roles. We had them up on that natural cover fire up on Colonial we had. As long as they got the proper equipment. If all my volunteers are outfitted, we've been the more experienced and certified explorers, we're outfitting them with the spare gear that we have. So as long as they have the proper gear, we're not using them on live fire, but we're using them for helping us on what they call cold trailing and mopping up and that kind of stuff. We've also used them on traffic accidents, doing the traffic control. We have a firefighter with them, but we're teaching them how to use the radio and talk back and forth and flagging and all that kind of stuff. I don't have anything new on 1080. It was on the agenda. I have a request in to hear what happened. The last it was supposed to move from Washington to South Dakota. I don't know if it's done that yet. I hope to hear back from them this week. The tires we were supposed to get for 1030 last fiscal year are back ordered and still aren't here. So I'm going to work with that with the budget vehicle maintenance that we have this year. They're just an odd size for some reason, and they weren't being manufactured. Now they're doing another one. Our cascade system had annual maintenance. We had one small broken part that was replaced. It was $27 or something, and everything else is in good condition. The reason that we had some pretty good checks this month is I signed the contract with BFA, for the BFA grant. We started buying wildland gear and a little bit more hose to finish off for the new truck. Any equipment we purchased since last October is refundable, and I'm already starting to identify that and get that all together. Our washer was delivered on Wednesday, and it's a nice washer. It's in the bathroom now. And we're working on creating our turnouts get air dried when we wash them. We got a bid for a $7,000 dryer, and we're gonna make it in-house, I think. It's made out of PVC, and we kind of create some hangers with PVC, and the things hang on there, and you hook a fan up to it.
Like a boot dryer?
Yeah, only it's for hanging clothes on, so we're gonna do that in-house, and I think that's gonna take care of it. Working on some storage issues with the budgeted funds, we're gonna buy some storage lockers and stuff, and also with the plywood and stuff we've gotten from RFP, we're gonna build some more lockers for our fire and explorer crew for storing their turnouts outside. Tree removal, I believe Douglas Electric did it with Jensen Tree Service. I talked to them a few months back and I hadn't heard from them. I know they came out to your house, and when they came out to your house, I believe Don Hutton was on me and kind of remembered that he was gonna take our tree down, so that, I think it happened the same day.
They aren't back and doing ours yet.
Yeah.
This gonna be next.
So we were, Jerry wants to talk about the wood's laying there, if anybody, I don't know how to deal with that, that's public property, I don't want it.
Yeah, we just have to be careful to make sure that no one in the district, like board members, volunteers, take it away before the public knows about it and has access. So I had suggested to Steve that none of his volunteers and that nobody on the board take any of that wood until the video is posted, which should be by tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, are there any needy families or anything that need firewood? Can't we do something with that? I mean, I've got a trailer that I could, you
Yeah,
know,
so do I. Put it on, we put it on the website. I mean, there's not a ton of wood there, but it's still wood.
It's couple nights, yeah.
Yeah,
It's probably halfway dry. 'Cause
It's wood.
dead, yeah.
well, how much is there? Quarter or two?
oh, no.
It's just one tree.
Yeah, maybe a dozen rounds.
Okay. Well, we're on that subject. What is the going rate for firewood? Is it like $200 a cord? Something like that?
Depending on the.
Yeah, but that's not even close to a core, that's not.
No, but I mean, the oak and the drone's going for like $200 a cord.
Probably, sure, yeah,
Because I've got a lot of firewood on the property over there.
yeah.
And if somebody wants it, they come get it and whatever for $100 a cord.
I'll get your phone number before we leave.
Okay.
So should we put a notice on the website, are you saying?
Yeah, but I mean, and we still gotta be careful, because what if someone comes here and gets hurt?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that big a deal, really. I mean, if they just
No,
want
but
something,
it
you know.
doesn't have to be unless something happens, that's the issue.
I'd rather see it go to a board member, that way we don't have to worry about the liability, honestly.
But we have
Well,
to
what
be
makes you think a
careful
board
about
member's not gonna
ethics
sue
issue.
your ass?
Or whatever, you know, is it cut
If we
up?
say it's just going to a board member, then that becomes an ethics, potential ethics violation. And if we open it up to the public, board members as community members are part of the public, so that anybody could come and get it after the notice has been posted.
What would be the easiest way to get rid of it?
Just make it disappear.
Suppose so.
Yes, but for snacks are free wood.
Well, that's something else I had suggested, putting a sign up,
Yeah.
Free to
that
a
it's
good
available for the taking.
Yeah, free wood, don't get
Yeah.
it.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, you gonna put it on the sign out here?
I would leave that up to Steve, how would be best to do that.
I just put it on the website and, I don't know how else. We can't reach everybody in town even with the website, I already know that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're consistent with the website, which is fair for the district.
Okay. Well, there is that other consideration that Ken was saying. Do we know of anybody who might be in need of firewood and can't afford to pay for firewood?
No,
And
it's
where we
not
could
yours,
just
man.
donate it to a
Yeah,
community member?
I like that one, donated to someone, but how do we pick?
How do we put, unless we contact the principal of the elementary school,
Yeah,
all those schools
Yeah, that's
out.
not good, yeah.
But she, you know, if we can contact her, she may have a suggestion.
we can try that.
I'd like to get rid of it the easiest way possible, and I burn wood, during the winter, I use wood totally for heat, and, you know, that there's 3 or 4 days for me, so it's not a large amount of wood.
Yeah.
So I just like to see it gone personally.
Well, why don't you just
Take it, forget it.
take it?
I don't
Sounds great, case solved.
Yeah, I know where it went, it's gone.
All right, so should we just put a notice up on the website? And
Yeah, what's left?
with the video, you know, people can see the video that we're saying that that wood is available free for the taking to Lookingglass community members.
Correct.
Is that
Mhm.
what we want to say? Right, can we make note of that in the minutes?
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
Okay, accounting office, we received 2 final tax checks in June, and that brought us up to over around 59, it's not on this month's financial statement, but around $59,000, so we actually came in a little over on our tax for last year. Got about 93% of what the county said we would, which is an average. Our past taxes, we ended up at $3,300, and we had budgeted $5,000. So that came out a little bit lower. And that's just big. Anyway, let's see, budget information, the LB50 and the resolution were all delivered to the county assessor. I'm gonna meet with Wheeler to finish out the fiscal year and get totals for everything for a self-audit. And so the next things are gonna be due is by September 30th to the Secretary of State's our self-audit, and then another package goes to the county clerk, our budget, all the notices, our agendas, the meeting minutes, and that kind of stuff in the budget meetings. Signed a contract with ODF, with VFA grant, so it's in force. That contract just allows them to give us some money, and that we promise to do what they ask us to do. I got a lot of correspondence that kind of came through. The first one is, I don't have on this list, was when we put that fire hydrant in, it's enlarged the area that is ISO rating 6. So I created a letter which we're gonna give to, we identified the houses or the properties last Thursday night. And we have a letter that we're gonna send out, just advising them to contact their insurance agent. It may or may not affect their rates. In some cases, it's affected them up to like 10 to 30%, but on other companies, they don't care. So,
Back up a second, what increased the water?
the ISO, well, by putting that hydrant there, it increases your ISO, or decreases your ISO rating
Oh,
for
okay.
people within 1,000 feet of the hydrant. And that, it's just your property line, it's not the dwelling or anything else, so it's kind of an arbitrary figure. But it took in about, considering that we have one at the school, it took in 20 or 30 more properties here going this way, Daisy Lane and houses both Lookingglass and Clean properties. Let's see, we did update the workman's comp payroll audit. I did that last week, and that was done online. It should be actually it's lower this year than it will be for next year. SDO sent an annual update. We had to send in a copy of our budget and an LB1, and then the district roster. They had all our personal emails on it from when they first came down here years ago, so I changed everything to our lookingglassfire.org emails and updated that. Resolution went in. Okay, so that was that. Let's see, update. Well, SDAO is going to do an appraisal of our facility value, and I just talked to them the other day, they're going to come April 2nd at 11 in the morning.
When?
August 2nd.
Oh, okay.
August 2nd, 11 in the morning.
Okay.
And I'm gonna meet them, so every 5 years they come out and do an appraisal for our property liability insurance and that kind of stuff. Let's see, payroll volunteers. So that's about it. There's some mail in the mailbox out there from SDAO I think for you, Brandon. I don't know if this stuff.
Do we have any old business to speak about? All right. Jerry, you want me to turn the next one over to you for the acceptance of the ethic policy?
It's just that in the ethics policy, it states that in July of each year, the board shall reaffirm the ethics policy. That's not one of the ones that we're going to be doing a reading on for any amendments.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of our having a motion that we accept the original ethics policy.
As it stands?
As it stands.
Okay.
Yeah, the current ethics policy as it stands.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and I'll entertain a motion to accept the current ethics policy as it stands.
I so move to accept it.
Okay, and a second?
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Passes.
But that needs to be, I'll get a copy of that too, because that's part of the best practices this year for SDAO, so we need to send a copy of that to them.
Well, it'll be in the minutes that we approve that, so would that be sufficient, just to send
I
the
think
minutes?
they want a copy of it too, because they keep like.
A copy of the policy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can
They
print
keep
that
a
out.
library of everybody's just to help other people form it.
Okay.
Now, Jerry, the next one for the first reading of the resolutions to amend, we're just going to read the changes, is that
The
correct?
changes, yes.
Okay, you want to go ahead, you
Sure.
can tell us which page you want us to go on and that will.
Yeah, let's start with the bylaws. And you should each have a copy that I handed out of the bylaws and the various policies. Robert and I went through the various policies to see if we could identify whether spelling errors or content errors, changes that we feel need to be made. So if you can find your bylaws, you have it?
I'm looking.
Okay, it
How
should be,
many
it might be
pages
one
is
of the
it?
first,
Yeah,
it might be at the
one,
bottom of your stack.
Yeah.
Okay. The main thing on bylaws is that there was a misspelling in the very first paragraph of the word organization. It was spelled O-R-G-A-A instead of just with one A. And so you can see over to the right is the comment of the change, spelling that we want to correctly spell the word organization. And the other recommended change would be in the footer, which would show up on each page, that it should say the actual original adoption date of the bylaws, which was, in this case, September 11th of 2013. And then anytime there's an amendment, the amendment date should be stated. So it was amended on June 11th of 2014. And if we agree to this at the second reading next month, then it would include saying amended August 10th, 2016. So that would be on the footer of each page. And those are the only changes we came up with for the bylaws. Any questions, discussion about that?
I'm good.
Good.
Okay, so we'll save that for the second reading next month?
Correct.
All right, so that was the bylaws. Now if you please go to the fiduciary policies. Okay, again in the footer, it's to revise it to show the adoption date and any amended dates. And this is just so that we can be following along with the type of thing that's done like for ORSs, to make sure we've got a good paper trail of when it was originally adopted and when changes were made. And then if you go to the back of that sheet, the recommendation is to add in a section 3, personal credit cards, and the statement would be district personnel, including board members and fire department volunteers, underlined, shall not use their personal credit cards to make purchases for district authorized expenses. And this is because there's the potential for an ethics violation in using your personal credit card, especially if you earn like rewards points, airline miles, anything like that. This is something that Steve and I learned about at an SDAO training. And that's why we're recommending to include this. And then the second one would be under Article 5, Annual Disbursements, Section 1, Budget. The current statement says the board shall establish a line item for equipment at $1 in the annual budget. That really is not an appropriate thing for us to be doing from what we would like. Steve recommended replacing that with a statement. I might have modified it slightly. If you'd like to discuss the statement as I modified it, if you want any changes to it, please say so. What I recommended was a statement: a yearly budget will be developed and funds received and spent in accordance with the requirements of ORS 294, County and Municipal Financial Administration.
Yeah, that's what I asked you to do, that's fine.
Okay, any questions about fiduciary policy? Okay, then let's move on to procedural policies. And again, I only printed front and back the 2 pages where we're recommending some amendments to it, and the same thing with the footer to include the original approved date and then amended dates. So the original approved date was January 2014. It was amended on June 11th, 2014. And if we approve it next month, it will be show amended August 10th, 2016. And then on the back side, it was recommended by, I believe, Robert originally to add in the word fiscal so that it's going to read, at the first regular board meeting of each new fiscal year, the treasurer shall provide a report showing all regular monthly bills and so on, as it was stated there. So it's just inserting the word fiscal. So instead of in January of the calendar year, it makes more sense to say what bills are going to be paid at the beginning of the fiscal year. And I believe we discussed that previously, so that seemed to make sense. And then under E, Communications Officer, this is to update the statement about what to do with the mail, who gets the mail, who handles the key, because originally when this policy was developed, it was decided to have a communications officer handle all that, but in practice, that did not seem practicable, and so for, I think, at least a couple of years now, it seemed to make more sense that the fire chief would have the key and get the mail. So the easiest way to change this is just to insert, these duties may be handled by other board members, and to add, or the fire chief. And so that way, all we have to do is, like each year if we want to do it, we just delegate that responsibility to the fire chief. But if at any point in time we feel, no, we really feel a board member should be doing that, we have that option because those options are available to us, board members or fire chief. And then to add in these duties, these duties may be handled by other board members or the fire chief as designated, and then to add by the board of directors. So it's just to give some clarification to that paragraph. Okay, any questions about that? Okay. Then public records policy. Again, to change the footer, so we'll have the adopted date, which it does have here, because so far public records policy has not had any amendments. So it was adopted August 13th, 2014. But there's some other areas we're making some recommendations of amendments so that we would then include amended August 10th, 2016, if it's approved at the second reading next month. And then this I didn't do two-sided, so you have 4 separate pages of this one. So on the next page, there was an error in the lettering of paragraphs. It had paragraphs A, B, C, C, D, E, G. So the recommendation is to correct the numbering, so it will then be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, and then if we go to the last page on this one, to add in the very end, to be consistent with the how the bylaws and the other policies are, to add a new section about amendments, how this policy can be amended. All the other ones have that, and this one needs it. Any amendments or changes to this policy must be approved by vote of at least 3 members of the board. Proposed changes must be presented at one regular business meeting and then voted on at the next regular business meeting. And that's the same as the procedure that we're following now. We're doing the first reading of these recommended amendments, and then next month will be the second reading and a vote whether or not to approve it. Okay, any questions on that one?
Thank you for your work on that, Jim. Thank you for your work on that.
You're welcome. Thank you for your help. That's Steve too.
All right, next thing, on the budget, we had the station secretary. I just thought I'd touch base on that, if we've given it any more thought, because we're in our new fiscal year.
I haven't, I know that looking in the file tonight, that Brenda's done a lot of work in the files.
Well, it won't start up again till fall.
Okay.
So are we good with that one? I mean, we put it in there, and I know there was a big,
Right.
hate to use the word started a fire in the fire department, but that's basically what it did. So if we don't need one now, there's nothing that says we have to have one at this time. If we do decide that it's in the best interest of the district, we could bring it up then.
Right, I'm still working on some volunteers. The one volunteer that had offered to do it, she has some medical issues right now. She's gonna be out for a couple months, so, but,
I think it'd be a great idea, really.
To bring someone.
I think board is supervision, oversight, as opposed to
Mhm. Hands on
filing
there.
and stuff like that. And having someone who's an explorer learn the inner workings of the fire department's good on a resume as far as.
Yeah.
so, I agree. And so I'm gonna try to do it with volunteers.
Okay. Well, if you need help, just let us know.
Yes, I'll bring it up as this goes.
Okay.
So there was a amount budgeted, and if what happens if we don't do it, then it's not gonna be spent.
Correct.
So do we want to have a motion to authorize Steve to use a volunteer to assist with those records? Because that means giving somebody access to our files in the lock cabinet, isn't that correct? So it would need to be done under supervision?
The stuff I was looking for was clerical type stuff, doing our reports and records and that kind of stuff.
Because you're not talking
It's
about
not
helping
gonna
with
be
the
into our
archiving type
financials.
things?
Well, we'll have to see, we're gonna have to go see where we're gonna have to go with archives. You went through, what did you go through?
Well, the thing is, I was just deleting bills, like physical bills, and I was back in 2007. Well, we only need 3 years. And then there's minutes have to be kept forever, but then from 2009, the minutes are on the website. So we need a hard copy we've got on the website, so. I mean, the website really has a lot of information.
Correct.
It's got all our budgets, we've got our financials and everything on the website.
You know, potentially, hopefully it won't happen, but potentially documents on the website can, if anything happens to the server, those are gone.
Well,
It's a
then
good
we found out you
idea to
really
keep,
have to wipe.
it's a good idea to keep the paper backups.
And we,
And
and I would say we have them, or you could go to the website right now and print them, but, you know,
Because
the
there's
building could
records
burn down and then
retention
you've lost
schedule.
them, so I
Yeah,
mean,
and
either
that's
way
why-
they could get lost.
Yes, but that's why we have redundancy of backups. And we have, you know,
So if you had it back, what's on the website backed up on a flash drive, we'd have it all backed up.
well, it's on the computer. I need to do some updating of that, and we need to get things on the computer. It hasn't been done in quite a while anything on the new computer needs to be backed up on our external
Hard drive.
hard drive. Yeah, our backup drive.
Well, what I'm saying is, going forward, do we really need to keep stuff in the attic? I mean, save it in the cloud, move forward.
Yeah, we can save it in the cloud.
Well,
I'd have to go through the public records law and see if it is sufficient to keep electronic copies, or do they really require to keep paper
yeah,
copies?
'cause I mean,
We're not
I'm not
talking
sure.
about medical records,
Yeah,
but I don't know.
see, I'm keeping the hard copies as the retention schedule says. We have to do 10 years on our reports and records and stuff, so we just.
well, the audit isn't
destroy
on
every-
the,
Right.
there'd be things that are not
Right.
on, but there is stuff on the website, and to me, you burn your paper. If I was gonna look for something, I'd go to the website first, way easier to search than going through some book in the attic.
Sounds like it needs to be looked into
Very
before
true.
we make a decision.
But
Yeah, yeah.
But keep in mind that the documents on the website only go back several years.
I think it was 2009, so yeah.
So,
up
you know,
until that
older
point.
records, we need to really keep
Absolutely.
according to the retention schedule.
How long do we have to keep records?
Well, minutes are kept forever,
Ever?
audits are forever. The bills were only 3 years, the physical bills, which, that was the only thing I was kind of getting.
I'm not kind of ignorant, but where all these files and stuff kept? Everything's kept here.
We have a lot of files here, Sergio.
All the files are kept in this building. That makes sense?
That's why we're talking about a backup on a
Yeah.
thumb drive. If you have something backed up, whether it's a thumb drive or a hard drive, and you take it with you, then if you lose something, you still have one or the other.
This is a fire station, it's supposed to be safe.
Well,
This is something else we need to consider, any critical documents that aren't in a storage box or something like
Yeah.
that. If they're archived up there, there may be some critical documents that we do want to scan to a file and put, since we have a Google account, we have a cloud drive, a Google Drive, where we can store scanned copies of documents on that cloud drive as a backup if anything were to happen here.
And an operational manual to go with it.
yeah, we get, how to get into the file.
Yeah, we get to it.
So we'll have to check the law and make sure we don't have to have hard copies, or if we do, then we'll stay at that retention schedule.
Well,
By
the
doing
thing
what
with the
you
law
did-
on minutes is, as long as you're recording it, that's all you need. So you don't need a hard copy of minutes already, that's.
But if we're making minutes available in hard copy to people, which we do, then I believe we do need to keep an archived copy.
Well,
I'm not
I'm
positive
talking
of
going
that.
forward, not what we've been doing.
Yeah, but we haven't really been giving minutes in a hard copy because we do it online.
Don't you put them in the box for
Yeah, we
everybody who
brought
wants
that
to
up
see
a
them?
while ago, because, Mr. Briggs brought that up to us, said he's been coming down here, and I
Right.
replied to him that all the minutes are online, and that pretty much resolved that issue. We put them online so we didn't have to put them out here, because, if they get wet, if someone takes them all, then
Okay.
someone's always running down.
But
there.
if somebody doesn't have internet access, then they can request a
You know,
hard
you're
copy.
correct, we can always print one out for them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, anything else on that matter, or? Okay, I guess, I have a question on the keys. We're missing a set of keys.
Yes, I have not replaced them.
Okay,
Who
yes.
wants the keys?
Me.
Oh.
And I went 3 places that day, I never leave the house.
Oh, so you lost them? Oh, I didn't, okay, I read it and I said, well, how are we missing a set?
Yeah, don't only mention who, I
Yeah, I
get
had
the
them
email.
Thursday, I didn't have them Sunday, I went to
Okay.
town once and
How many
Is it-
keys-
is it
how many
just
keys
two
are we
filing?
talking about? Two, oh.
filing cabinet and a safe.
Oh,
Safe, we have a safe.
Where all our important documents are. Relax. Please don't have any keys.
Do we have an extra set of those keys? I imagine we got.
I don't have, you or one of the others have this.
I got one set
Strong
of
box.
keys and I don't know what they're to.
To the strong box.
Well, then we'll have to see if Bill has that one so we can make new keys. We'll try those before you leave, just to make sure, and so we'll just duplicate them.
Bill took him.
What kind of lock is it? Is it just a key, cylinder type key or whatever?
Master, is it?
I don't know, I've never been in it.
Well, I mean, you can have a lock guy come in, take the lock out, put it on.
Well, that's what we gotta figure out, if these keys are then we got the,
Oh, I know.
solve it, if not, then we'll have to have it repaired.
Change the locks.
Okay.
Now, you said a key for the safe deposit box? Or-
For the safe.
Or for the safe here in the station? Okay, and so there would probably be that's probably more expensive to get that duplicated? Do we need to?
Well, I can't imagine I have the only key on the planet.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I was thinking.
No, if I
Actually,
know,
you have,
what do they do?
I don't have them, so.
Yeah, I have no
No, I'm
keys.
just wondering if we need
I'll get
to authorize
Over
us
Set
having
of
it
keys in the
duplicated.
file cabinet for
Well, let's try the keys first.
Okay.
So let's try the keys that we have here first, and if not, then we're gonna have to call a locksmith.
It's just a key, tumbler lock?
I don't
It's just, what
know.
kind of key is it? What's the key look?
Why don't we look at it afterwards?
Yeah, because I'm not sure.
I could probably get into it. If it's just a standard key thing, I could probably get into it.
Okay. Well, sorry about that, Kim Moore.
I don't think that was the question, getting into it.
I used to master.
We have keys, we're just curious about.
Yeah, we'll try the ones that we have
So
first.
you got to get into it.
We got keys for it. We're just worried about the keys floating around if we need to change the locks.
Well, yeah, if you get into it. you
And the
can
keys
slide.
weren't marked, if someone found.
Yeah, they're just found a set of keys
I
somewhere.
don't know what they do,
Yeah.
and they
So
still
they
have
have
to
to
get
get
in
in
the
front of the door
building.
first.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything from any of the other board members have anything to say? Or comment, suggestions? Public comments, anything not on the agenda? Next meeting is August 10th of 20.
oh, wait a minute, I do know one thing. I responded to 2 FOSHA requests, which I sent to all of you, many times. So I don't know if there's anything to really discuss. I did get a response from the first one that wanted all of our employees and what they made. She said, thank you for the response, I've updated our records. Now, I don't know if that means she'll never send us one again, but.
And who was she with? It was out of Florida?
They're both out of Florida.
Okay.
It was the American Transparency. And if you go to your website, you can see, like you look for, like Roseburg. So my sister works for the post office. I could look up Roseburg Post Office. She's a federal employee. It told me her name,
Oh.
the year, and what her salary was. And you could look up what the people in the VA are getting in Portland. So it's information on what federal employees make as a wage or hourly rate or annual salary.
Okay.
And it's there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get that on an annual basis. They wanted 2015.
Yeah.
Now, for us, we didn't have any employees.
Correct.
And even if we hire someone to do the books, I'm pretty sure they don't care about something we're paying $50 a month,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or $50 a month or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be hard to respond to it, because they just wanted name, who the employer is, what their position is, and what their salary is.
Okay.
And so it would be something I could send to them, little Excel sheet. So,
Yeah. Okay.
The other one was, they wanted electronic information of our purchases. And they're putting together a data so you could contact them for a fee and find out what other people have paid for a
Oh,
purchase.
okay.
But they specifically wanted it to be electronic. And so I talked to him for quite a while on the phone, and what I figured out what he didn't want, except maybe the VA thing. But he asked me, is it in an Excel format? And I said, I don't know.
No, it's just a scan.
And-
I scanned it all and then sent it to the VFA, so I mean, I have that scanned file. And basically all it is all 17 receipts and checks.
Yeah, and that's not what they want. He wants something that he can migrate to his system. So if it's
Yeah.
on his spreadsheet, he can put it on his spreadsheet, all's well with his world, but it was nothing we have.
Yeah, I got a reply back from him too, saying that he didn't want anything, he didn't want to go any further. If
Yeah, I didn't
that's
get a
what he-
response
that's
from
what he's
him, so if you
getting,
could send that to me, then
Yeah.
I'll put these in our file and blah, blah, blah. We've got a hard copy of it. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't get one, but he kind of sounded like they're looking for bigger fish, kind of.
Yeah, a little more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a kind of issue with, because it's like a private business is hitting us up for public records, that they actually put this all together and then sell it as a product. And then, but then I spoke with Jerry when I first came in, and SDAO issued a notice saying, oh yeah, these are all viable.
Well, they were only talking about the American Transparency, right? They weren't talking about the other kind.
Okay.
But,
Because they hit every fire department in this.
because it doesn't take them any time now that we're on their email.
Yeah, they said a button and go.
Exactly.
Here's a request.
Yeah, it doesn't cost him a cent, so. He was pleasant enough to talk to. He's in
Wondering
Florida.
about that.
Florida. I just thought it was odd, yeah, all the way from Florida, you're like, oh, really? Alrighty, with that said, if nobody has any comments or statements, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Our next meeting's gonna be August 10th, 2016. And with that, if nobody has anything, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting for July 13th, 2016.
Move to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
We are done, thank you.
That was exactly 1 hour.
Was it?
8:06.
Like, we're just gonna